My name is Anne Greive these days, but I was known as Anne Tyrer, or Tyrer, Tyrer. We all used our maiden names, even though I was friends with several of them for years and years. We always called ourselves by our maiden name. I graduated in 1948, and I understand you don't get such big certificates these days as I have preserved mine. And we wore badges on our uniform. I've got some photos of us with our little uniforms and white blouses. I'll mention the uniform again a little later if I remember. But in those days there was only women, of course, not men, in college. I don't know when the men actually started, and I understand it's a university course now, but mine was only a 2-year course, and the year we left, I think it went to a 3-year course, and then what it is now, I don't know.
Now, Anne, as an ACPE alumna, what message would you give today's students at ACPE?
Well, just enjoy your time training and your ability to go to any place in the world. In our days, we couldn't work in public schools in Australia, but otherwise we could use our qualifications anywhere in the world. Big class. I have a photo of all of us at tennis with J.O. Anderson at Rosscutters Bay. I understand he was a Wimbledon tennis player at one stage.
What are some of your most memorable moments of your time at ACPE?
Well, I think we had a lot of fun all the time, but we spent an awful lot of time travelling from place to place because we didn't have our own facilities in those days. I think they must have rented out places. For instance, we had tennis in Rosscutters Bay and cricket in Rosscutters Bay, and I think we had a hall there that we had for dancing and gymnastics, and I think there was another gymnastic place in maybe the YMCA near Central Station. The main office was in Hunter Street near Wynyard, where we did fencing and theory work.
And how did ACPE change your life?
Well, it was a big change really, because when we graduated, or before we graduated, we got jobs through, I think, the teachers' college in Sydney. There was some place that we used to apply to go teaching in different places.
And would you consider ACPE being ahead of its time with regards to focusing on providing an education sport for women?
Oh yes, definitely. It was very advanced in its teaching, because, as I said, there was no other institution except for Melbourne University where they had specialised courses for students, and I don't know what the men did, because we were only women, so if they had any trained men, I don't know where they came from.
What do you remember about Frank Stewart? What was he like as a person?
Well, I didn't know him personally, of course, because students in those days didn't really get to know much about the personal lives of any of our teachers. He was only teaching us fencing. He was obviously the head of the college, which was originally called the Swords Club, and he was, I understand, a very well-known and well-regarded fencer of his day and very crippled with a car accident, on a big display for our families to come.
And if Frank was still with us, what do you think he would feel to see ACPE thriving in the 21st century?
Oh, I think he must have been very proud to have started such a college in Australia, and starting off just in a small way with the Swords Club, as it was known, and then as it got bigger and bigger, and today's where they've got men and women training in university courses, it would be a very proud thing for him.
For future students that would like to study at ACPE, do you have any words of advice?
Well, I don't know about words of advice, but certainly it's a great place to have a training and to be able to go anywhere in the world to teach and to encourage people to have a more active life, which everybody is always promoting these days, how important exercise is for well-being for people.